for week 12 of this season. I will kick things off here. And
I already know what your number one is.
I will go backwards this week from 5 to 1. At number 5, it is a battle in the NFC North between J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings against Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. Packers are ahead of a pivotal Week 13 game on a short week, Thanksgiving against the Lions. And the Vikings, who have had some history the past couple of years going into Green Bay and winning. They did so a year ago. J.J. McCarthy now, his third division game in 4 weeks. He really needs a bounce back game. If J.J. McCarthy is still struggling at the end of this season, I would not be surprised if Minnesota goes in a different direction next year at quarterback. Maybe even Mac Jones, who I just mentioned earlier, for the Browns. At number 4, I don't know if he's going to play, but it's a big game for both teams. And in him, I mean Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to the Windy City, Steelers-Bears, as the Bears try to keep pace for the number 1 seed in the NFC North, while Pittsburgh is trying to hang on to that number 1 title in the AFC North, barely over the Ravens. At number 3, we already talked about it, Bucs-Rams, Sunday night, a big pivotal matchup for both of these teams. The only way Carolina's got a shot to get back in the NFC South, Tampa losing to the Rams, Carolina then beating San Francisco would give a huge boost for the Panthers. The Rams are obviously trying to keep pace, not only in their division, but with Philadelphia for the number 1 seed. And then obviously, I think number 2 and number 1 are pretty obvious. You can put them in either order. Colts-Chiefs, we know the stakes that are there for not only the Chiefs, but for the Colts to keep pace with Jacksonville in that AFC South division coming off a bye. And then number 1, Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady on the call, 425 on Fox. Will Jalen Carter spin in the face of Dak Prescott again? I hope not. You never know. Eagles, Cowboys. It's Cowboy week in Philly.
I don't even I have this game at number 6. So at number 5, Vikings, Packers. Packers obviously are trying to keep pace with the Chicago Bears. Jordan Love has been extremely inconsistent. And on the other side, can J.J. McCarthy get on the same page with Justin Jefferson, please? And you know the Vikings are going to bring exotic pressures and blitzes with Brian Flores. And we don't know the status of Josh Jacobs. If he's not there, is Jordan Love going to be able to handle that type of defensive pressure from Brian Flores and the Vikings? At number 4, I'm surprised you didn't have this game on your list. Thursday night football down in Houston, Bills, Texans. It sounds like General Mills is going to be the quarterback again for the Texans.
You mean Davis Mills?
Yes, I'm calling him General Mills.
Okay.
And they will be taking on the one-man show known as Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. I think on a short week, the Texans defense might be able to get after Josh Allen because that Texans defense has been one of the top units in the league this season. And the Texans are starting to come back into form. And so this is a big game for both teams in terms of what the AFC playoff picture could look like, as we talked about earlier. At number 3, this is where I have Colts-Chiefs because it's not as much of a litmus test for the Colts as I thought it would be a couple weeks ago. It's more so a survival game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because right now, the Jaguars hold the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. I believe the Chargers hold the tiebreaker over the Chiefs right now. And a couple other teams ahead of them in the playoffs picture.
Buffalo guys as well.
Yes. So this game for me is more important for Kansas City. Not quite as important for Indianapolis. Although if they want to prove themselves, go out and beat the 3-time Super Bowl champions. I get it. But still, because it's not quite as important for the Colts, it's a little lower on my list at number 3. At number 2, the Carolina Panthers at the San Francisco 49ers. Monday Night Football in the West Coast. And this is for a couple reasons. Number 1, Carolina is nipping at the heels of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. And you know how hard I've been on Bryce Young throughout the season.
You've been driving the Panthers. I'm going to call you the Panthers guy on the show.
Yeah, well, you've been the Bears fan. So I guess there you go. But if the Panthers can go out to San Francisco and beat a formidable 49ers team, because yes, they are beaten up, but they are still very effective on defense. If the Panthers can go out there with Bryce Young, Ted McMillan, Rico Dowdle, and beat the 49ers, you have to take them seriously. And this game comes at an interesting time for the 49ers, because following this game, they have to go on the road and play the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. So not only are they losing a day of practice by playing this game on a Monday, but they're also going to lose another day because they have to travel out to Cleveland. So that basically means they only have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Friday to prep for the Browns. So that's part of the reason why it's number 2, because of that factor. I know that might not make a lot of sense, but for me it does. Just go with me on that. And at number 1, Sunday Night Football. These two teams have had some classics over the past couple of seasons. Just go back to the divisional round in 2021 when Matt Stafford found Cooper Kupp wide open for what was eventually going to be the game-winning touchdown. I love when these two teams play each other. You got the LA Rams coming off of a big-time win at home against the Seattle Seahawks. You got Tampa Bay coming off of a very competitive but close loss against the Buffalo Bills on the road. Now they have to travel out to the West Coast. You know, you mentioned it. If Carolina wins on Monday and Tampa loses this game, you got an interesting dynamic in the NFC South. LA's trying to maintain their lead over Seattle in the NFC West. Seattle plays at Tennessee. So this game is important on both sides. So that's why Buccaneers, Rams is my number 1.
The only thing I'll comment on is I have no interest in watching Davis Mills. If CJ Stroud was playing, I'd 100% agree with you. I think the Texans defense is going to keep it close. It's like, I got to watch Davis Mills instead of CJ Stroud. It's such a downgrade.
That part is true. The only reason I don't have Eagles Cowboys on my list is just because they did what they did against the Raiders. I don't view them any differently, though.
I think it's going to be a fantastic game. And it's on the same time as the Browns game, so I'm going to have 2 screens going at the same time.
I won't be able to watch either game because I'll be at Rocket Arena to see Kawhi Leonard, if he's healthy, and the Beard James Harden go against the Cleveland Cavaliers.